Hey folks, Micah McGee here. In today's video, we're going to be using this and this to make Wiener Schnitzel. And my friends in Germany, last time I made this video, told me it's not Wiener Schnitzel, it's Wiener Schnitzel. Let's make it. Start with one Mangalitsa hind quarter. I find myself right up against lunchtime right now, so I've got to hurry. This is the back of the leg. The most of the meat's on the back of the leg. The least of the meat's on the front of the leg. So let's just cut down through here till we hit the bone. Where's that bone at? Right here's the bone. In medical terms, this right here would be considered the booty. Now, this is what I call the kneecap, and we're gonna come around that all the way to the bone. We're just gonna wring that baby. Now look here. Just ride that bone all the way up. Open it up. You can feel that bone now, see? Now look, pick it up, come underneath. Look at that. The whole entire bone is free. Now we just gotta finish it up. The only thing left on this bone is basically trimmings for sausage. We have a sausage video coming for you tomorrow. We're gonna separate this from that. If you look at this thing, this pig has got some real fat on it. It's easier to get your size if you cut the fat side first, because this fat is very firm. If you cut this side, it's the meat, it's not very firm, it's not gonna work out for you very well. Just go like this. And if you've got a nice sharp Victorinox knife, that helps a lot as well, and you can find them in the descriptions of this video, as well as this right here. This is a Weston hand crank meat tenderizer, and you can make the best Wiener Schnitzel that you've ever dreamed of. What I'm going to show you in just a second, I'm going to show you how to run it through this meat tenderizer in a way that will really make this even more amazing than just tender meat. Now, as you can see, the Mangalitsa is very blessed with fat. We don't need all that fat in this Wiener Schnitzel because it would not even be good. So this right here, what you're looking at, is part of tomorrow's sausage video. Okay, the thing I want to show you, you already know this thing will tenderize meat. What I want to show you is how you can take an old, long, stringy piece of fatty meat and turn it into a perfect Wiener Schnitzel. A nice, round patty of wonderfully tenderized meat. Take it, fold it in half like this. Run it through once. After it runs through, fold it again. Run it through again. That's the second time through. I want you to look at this, how it's starting to do now. I'm just going to run it through another time or two just like that. Somebody asked me on the last video if you can get clamps with this thing because to hold it still, and of course it comes with clamps. It came with clamps. I didn't even ask for clamps, but I don't really use them like I should. Now, you know this was a long stringy piece. Look how it's starting to come together. And the beauty of it is, as it comes together, all that fat from that long string gets marbled in through that meat. That is basically ready right there for being breaded and fried. Now on one like this, you got mostly muscle and just a little fat. Run it through, run it through, run it through, run it through, and I'm turning it different ways as I run it through. Now, you want to take it and put that fat in the middle of the patty, in the middle of the steak. Some people call it chicken fried steak. I call it chicken fried steak. It's actually Wiener Schnitzel. If it was beef, it'd be chicken fried steak, but this is pork, so I guess we'll call it Wiener Schnitzel. Look how tender that is. It's so tender it's falling apart. And it was just like this just a moment ago, a very dense muscle. Now you've got a very tenderized muscle with fat running right through the dead center of it. And when that gets breaded and fried, that's going to be amazing. So I'm gonna do one more of these long ones just to show you. Run it through. Run it through. Run it through. Now, fold it. Run it through. And I'm sure I'm going to get about 20 comments saying that is too much fat. I just can't eat that much fat. This is Mangalitsa fat. This is not like any fat you ever put in your mouth unless you've eaten a lot of Mangalitsa meat. Now look at me. I'm just folding it all up, bunching it up. Mangalitsa fat is packed with vitamin D. If it was raised in the sun, more than any other product on earth except cod liver oil. You can believe me when I say this Mangalitsa fat is actually good for you, like taking your vitamins. Another thing you can use this thing for, amazing. Say, I'm gonna just cut this in half. You only have these 2 little pieces of pork, but you want a nice big steak like this. Put them through together. Just keep putting them through together like this. Right now they're still separate, but just keep putting them through. Fold them over on each other like that. What do you see now? It's no longer 2 little pieces. Take it, fold it over, and put that fat in the middle, because that's where you want it when you're eating this baby. Just keep putting it together. Now say, oh, 2 of them ain't even enough. Get you another piece. Put it through. These things have blades. These blades cut, but they also are making them come together. Fold it back again. It's absolutely limitless, really, what you can do with this machine. I took 3 pieces of pork and made a wonderful Wiener Schnitzel. Now, one last time, we're going to go through, and there you have it. A wonderful, big old, juicy, tender piece of meat. Let's get in the house and bread these up and fry them up and see how they taste. As you know, we use Camp Dog. There's been a few videos that I haven't used Camp Dog, and people have let me know about it. We're going to pour the Camp Dog to it just like that right there. Next, we're going to take a fork, just stir it together. This is 2 cups of flour, and you've seen I just laid the Camp Dog to it just like that. I like my pink Himalayan salt. I'm just going to go ahead, throw some of that in there. The Camp Dog is very forgiving because it is low sodium. So when you got low sodium, sometimes you want to add salt. It is so much easier to add salt than take salt out. You can't do it. So, in my opinion, Camp Dog is the best Cajun seasoning on earth because it gives you the choice. If you don't want it so salty, but you still want that flavor, you want that spiciness if you choose the spicy. At this point, we're just simply going to take these, fat all through there. We're going to lay it in there. We're going to take our hand. We're just going to sprinkle that out. And then that tenderized meat just absolutely accepts that flour with open arms. All right, we got this wood fire just rolling along. We're going to put these in some wonderful Mangalitsa bacon grease. You may have seen yesterday we made Mangalitsa bacon. Every time you cook a Mangalitsa bacon, you get a good old amount of Mangalitsa bacon grease. All right, it is ready to come off. Please don't tell me that you would even try to eat this without gravy. That would be against the law. Right now, it's time to make gravy. All right, we got our grease here already with plenty of drippings. We're going to stir in about a cup of flour. Don't dump all your flour in at once or you've screwed up. terribly. Now some people go ahead and make a slurry with their flour and dump it in, and it turns out great. And that's probably the way I should do it, but that ain't the way I ever do it. I don't think I've ever made a slurry. I'm making my slurry right now. At this point, we're gonna pour the milk to it. This ain't nowhere near enough milk, so I'm gonna have to add water. All right, at this point, we're gonna pour some black pepper in it. That's what gives gravy its wonderful flavor for this particular meat. Salt it down. You don't want it too salty, but you do want salt in it. All right, I'm going to plate up some lunch here, but I'm going to get my boys and we're going to try it out. Now, the beautiful thing about this meal is you got potatoes and you got chicken fried steak, otherwise known as Wiener Schnitzel. You can't eat it without gravy. Smother that baby in gravy and you just keep it going right over them potatoes. Now that right there is some Southern style goodness. Unbelievable. Let's call the boys. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Can you say, Matt, Wiener Schnitzel?
Well, that's not Wiener Schnitzel.
That's Wiener Schnitzel. All right.
That's not sausage.
This here is a butter knife, dull as a fro, and I'll show you just exactly how tender this meat is. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it up for you boys so y'all can just grab your pieces. I would say a southwestern delicacy if it wasn't pork. For beef, it's a southwestern delicacy. All right, everybody dig in. There's a piece of Wiener Schnitzel with the gravy. I'll be honest with you folks, I had a hard time not nibbling a little bit while I was cooking. Good old homegrown taters.
That's so good.
It's unbelievable.
Man.
It's almost as good as possum. You saw us dig these potatoes in the video. Now, you see us eat these potatoes in the video, and I guarantee you, you can't buy a potato at the store that tastes like that. I want you to look how fast this Wiener Schnitzel got eat up. Oh, they got a big bite. Caleb, somebody on today's video said that you don't control yourself very much when you're eating at the plate. They said, thank you, Caleb, for controlling yourself and letting Frank have all of his show on his Saturday video. Because I guess that surprised him a little bit, because when it comes to eating, you're quite forward. Hey, look at them and say, if you were raised with 3 other brothers that ate the house and home, you would be forward eating too. Tell them. Can you say it? Oh, man. Well, folks, there you have it. Get yourself one of these meat tenderizers. Just drop down the description, click the link and buy it. Get yourself that knife, and then raise yourself a Mangalitsa pig. There is no Wiener Schnitzel on earth ever compared with Mangalitsa Wiener Schnitzel, and that I promise you. So, we're going to get on out of here. We've got plenty more videos on the way, but for now, that's all we've got for you, except for just one more bite of potato. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you on the next video.